Okay, so this is lesson 6.7a in elementary algebra called applications. So of course, when you're doing with everything we have in chapter 6, we have to have some story problems. So let's just start off with the first example. It says the product of two consecutive odd numbers is 63. Find the integers. All right, so we're looking at the product, so we're multiplying two consecutive odd integers. All right, so what's one of them? One of the integers is x, consecutive odd. That means the next one is going to be x plus 2. For example, if this was 3, the next one would be 5, right? We add 2 to it in order to get the next odd integer. And what do they want us to do with it? They want us to multiply them. So one integer times the other, and they say that that is 63. So we just solve for x, and we get x squared plus 2x equals 63, and then remember you got to set it equal to 0. So that gives us x squared plus 2x minus 63 equals 0. And then, in order to find x, we make two binomials, x. So two numbers multiplied together give you negative 63, and added give you 2. So let's do this and this, because 9 minus 7 is positive 2, and 9 times negative 7 is negative 73. So then we've got x equals 9 and x equals 7. So we have, negative 9. So we have two different options here for the answer. We have, if x is negative 9, and negative 9 plus 2 is negative 7. So those are two consecutive integers that are odd. We also have 7. So if x is 7, ooh, that doesn't look like a 7, does it? 7. Then the next one is 7 plus 2 is 9. So those are two odd integers that multiplied together give me 63. So both of these answers work. And remember, here I have a 2 on there, so that means I've got two answers. So just kind of clues you in on how many answers you're going to have. So when you see that 2 there, you know that you're going to have a couple. All right, let's see. How many examples are there in this section? Holy cow. Quite a bit here. 8 of them. Yeah. All right, so example 2. The sum of two numbers is 13. Their product is 40. Find the numbers. Okay, so the sum of two numbers is 13. So if we have two numbers, let's just come up with two numbers added up to give us 13, just to kind of give us an idea of what we're looking at. 10 plus 3 equals 13. Well, if we have 10 plus what equals 13, how do we know that this is a 3? Well, we looked at this and said x is 13 minus 10, so x equals 3. This is the key part of that. So if we have the sum of two numbers is 13, we don't know what the two numbers are, but let's just say one of them is x. So x plus something equals 13. So what is that something? Well, if we subtract x here and x here, we have our something equals 13 minus x. So one of the numbers is x, and one of the numbers is 13 minus x. So all that work, let's just get rid of it this way, to get one number is x and one number is 13 minus x. Okay? So then, if we add these two together, what do we get? That and that cancel, and we get 13. And that's what we were trying to say. The sum of two numbers is 13. Their product is 40. So if I were to multiply them, I get 40. Okay? Find the numbers. 13x minus x squared equals 40. Make this equal to 0. Subtract 40 from both sides. 13x minus x squared minus 40 equals 0. Now we have to turn these all around and put them in the right order. Negative x squared plus 13x minus 40 equals 0. And we hate to have a negative there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a negative and pull it out, and then we change the sign of everything in here. Okay, remember doing that? Now I can set this equal to two binomials. Two numbers multiplied together give you 40. Added give you a negative 13. So that would be, let's put an x here and an x here, it would be 8 and 5. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 plus 5 is negative 13. And negative 8 plus negative 5. Negative 8 times negative 5 is positive 40. Alright. So, what do we get here? X is going to equal 8. X is going to equal 5. So how does this work? If x is 8, so if one of the numbers is 8, okay, so up here, if x is 8, then 13 minus 8 has to equal 5. So those are two numbers. If x is 5, the other one has to be 8. So, you know, your numbers that you're looking for are 8 and 5. Alright, so let's jump to example number 3. And this is an area problem. I like the area problems best. They're like my favorite because they're pictures that you can actually draw. The length of a triangle is 3 more than twice the width. Okay, so we know the least about the width, so we're going to call that x. What do we know about the length? It's 3 more than twice the width. The area, okay, the amount of space that takes up is 44. And how do you find the area? The area of a rectangle is the width times the length. Okay? So this is 2x squared plus 3x equals 44. Make it equal to 0. Always do that once you get it written. Okay. There we go. Alright, so now we have to, let's see, multiply 2 times 44. So we're looking for two numbers multiplied together give us negative 88, and added give us a positive 3. So that ends up being an 11 and 11 and an 8. Yeah. 88. 11 times 8 is 88. 11 minus 8 is 3, and that's what I want. Okay, so negative 88, negative 88. That means this one has to be positive and this one negative, so that when we add these, we get our positive 3x. So then remember, we write these instead of 3x, we write negative 8 plus 11x, which is 3x. Okay, so let's go ahead and group. Okay, so I'm going to pull out a 2x, and I'm left with an x minus 4, plus factor out an 11, get x minus 4, equals 0, and that are the same, which is exactly what we want. So we take our 2x plus 11, and we take our x minus 4, and that gives us that. Alright, so that all looks well and good. Now we have to find out what x is, right? And when we find out what x is, see if I can get my rectangle back. Once we find out what x is, we can put it there, and then 2 times whatever x is will give us that length there. Alright, so let's get this junk out of the way so we can have a little more room. So remember, we take this, and then we take x minus 4 and make it equal to 0. So x equals 4 here, and 2x equals negative 11, divide by 2, divide by 2, x equals negative 11 halves. So I get two answers. That just means that there are two possibilities, right? Two possibilities for the width of this rectangle. Let me go ahead and write that rectangle again because I need to show you something that's pretty important here. And this was 2x plus 3. Alright, so let's use 4. So if that's 4, the width is going to be 11, right? 2 times 4 plus 3 is 11. Multiply those together, you get 44, which is what we know to be true. Alright, if x equals, instead of it equaling 4, it equals negative 11 halves, now you're going to be just plugging away, thinking, oh, okay, that's what my width is negative 11 halves, and I'm going to multiply 2 times negative 11 halves and find out my other possible answer, right? Alright, here's where it gets not tricky, but kind of a fooler. Can a length ever be a negative? No. So that means this is not even a possible answer because the width of that rectangle can't be negative. So it's not even possible to use that. So the only one you can use is x equals 4, and then 4 times 2 plus 3 is 11. Alright, so when you get a negative for an answer and you're looking for a distance, you know that you have something that ain't going to work. So just make sure you're aware of that because they will try to catch you with that because it is important to get that a negative number doesn't work. Okay, so that takes us to example 4. And we have, does it say it's a square? Area of a square is twice its perimeter. So then, okay, so if this is a square, that means the length and the width are the same. And the area of the square, so what is the area of this? X times x. And that area is equal twice its perimeter. Well, what is the perimeter? The perimeter is the distance from here to here to here to here. So x plus x plus x plus x. So twice the perimeter. The perimeter is 4 times x, or 4 x's. Alright, so that gives me x squared equals 8x. Okay, so x squared minus 8x equals 0. So far it's looking good. I'm going to factor out an x. So, either x equals 0 or x minus 8 equals 0. Well, if x is 0, that means we don't have a square, do we? Because it doesn't have a length. So that one we can throw out. This one, our x equals 8. And we know that that's a possibility because that is a length. So if that's true, then does it say anything about... No, it doesn't say anything about the length or the width. I'm just thinking as far as checking it goes. But so that's example 4. Alright, I'm going to stop this video, and the next piece we're going to do is called the Pythagorean theorem, and we'll do that in 6.7b.